You just hear this.
It's the Jim Kerr Rock and Roll Morning Show on Q1043.
Q1043, what is it about this guy? I mean, everything he touches turns to gold. I mean, he's one of the marketing geniuses, certainly one of the marketing geniuses of the last half of the 20th century, and has continued into the first half of the 21st century to come up with one great idea after another. Hit television show, has sold 25 gazillion records, concert tickets. 100, how many?
104 million.
104 million. I thought it was 20 gazillion.
I'm not familiar with that. That's a number, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's a number.
But anyway, I mean, you're talking about a guy with an astonishingly successful career.
Yep.
And then he walks into our studio.
Live at the Jim Kerr Show, right here.
Sees that there's a woman in the studio with a Kiss T-shirt on, and of course Shelli is here in the studio as well. So we've got two women in the studio. The first thing he does after he looks at the women is he lowers the lights in my room, my studio. He lowers the lights. Now it's very romantic in here.
Say hello.
He has a woman on his lap right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's Gene Simmons. What do you expect?
She's never sat on my lap.
You're not Gene Simmons.
No, I'm not Gene Simmons.
Ow.
Gene Simmons, welcome. Let's have a round of applause for Gene Simmons this morning.
You know, I have to give you kudos, which is not a candy bar. To do this early in the morning is just beyond me. My face doesn't start working until 1 p.m., although this part of the body works just fine. Can you tell? I like girls. Look at that. You can squeeze them and they honk like little bicycle horns.
And she doesn't even get offended.
No.
Look what he just said. Look what he just said. He said, you squeeze them and they honk like little bicycle horns.
And she honked.
And she's just beaming.
I know.
I would, not only would I get it punched in the face, I'd get kicked in the...
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you're not Gene Simmons.
No, I'm not Gene Simmons.
There is only one.
I figured
But you're right. You know, you're completely right. 12:30 tomorrow at 555 Fifth at the Barnes & Noble. I'm going to be showing up to sign copies of Ladies of the Night, my new book. Oh, it's today. Oh, good.
Yes, it's today.
It's today, guys.
It's today. What time today?
At 12:30, Barnes & Noble. You can tell. Say, look, I've got a beautiful blonde on my... I can't.
He thinks it's last night.
I know.
I can't do this.
Okay. He's still...
So, this has actually been a very, very hectic, but a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. We've been up at 6:45 every day, you know, doing the media, CBS, and all the rest of the guys. But it is a hoot because people have all sorts of things to say, pro, some con, about Ladies of the Night, a historical perspective of the oldest profession in the world.
Well, it's a historical and personal perspective on the oldest profession in the world.
Yep.
And it's the imprint is Simmons Books.
And Phoenix Books.
So you have your own imprint. And when they told me about it, before I saw it, I had no idea that the book would be so beautiful.
It's a coffee table book.
I mean, it is printed on this amazing glossy stock. There's the gold
trim.
Yes, the gold trim, the beautiful binding. I mean, this is
beautiful. And not only that, but, you know, they stopped making, as I understand, what is that sort of, bookmarker? There's a kind of a bookmarker in there that you can get somewhere in the middle of the book. They no longer make that machine that manufactures that, so it's had to be hand placed inside. Have I got that right?
And the reproduction of the artwork in here is just beautiful. The color reproduction. There are a lot of very famous paintings. I mean, there are things in this book that had you traveled, say, to Pompeii, you'd be able to see the original artwork, but it's right here.
You bring up an interesting point, which is that nowadays, because America is a remnant of the Puritan ethic, we tend to think of Ladies of the Night, and I prefer to use ladies instead of some of the other phrases that have been thrown about, usually by men and some other jealous women. But I believe in the empowerment of women. I believe that women should be able to, by themselves and on their own, without tugging on the shirt sleeves of society, decide how and when to lead their lives and how much to charge for it. And
that's where the controversy is going to come in.
It's not, because it
is controversial.
I'll tell you why it's not, because every woman understands that when she gets married, she wants a guy that makes a good living. And any girl that goes out on a date, there's the understanding and the expectation that the male will pay for it. We have paid for it. We are paying for it. We will always pay for it. And my question to you is, what's the difference?
Well, there are plenty of women that earn more than their husbands.
That's nice, but they still want a man who makes more money, or will always pay for it. I offer the following, and you can answer honestly if you can. All right, let's try this. It's early in the morning, but just follow me. Two guys are talking. Hey, bud, I've got a blind date for you. So because the male of the species is visually stimulated, he is naturally going to say, what does she look like? Two girls are talking. I've got a blind date for you. Really? What does he do?
Well, yeah.
There's the male.
There's that.
That is the crux
women. There's still plenty of women that love and live with men that don't make as much as they do.
I know that. But when the divorce comes, she's going to go for the money.
It's still money.
Okay, I've been trying to figure.
See, the rest of the room goes in that camp.
I know.
I know. Whether he has more money or not, she makes more money. When the divorce comes, she's taking half. One of his two God-given balls will be ripped out, entrails and all.
No, I mean
that in the very nicest way.
Of course.
The very nicest of ways.
Course.
And that's because of look, she can't punch him out. The nature of man is to wander, because God has imbued us with a blueprint that says we have no choice. We cannot take Thursdays off. We manufacture hundreds of millions of sperm.
Yeah, we do.
And we have no choice in the matter. You drop 2 eggs maybe per month. During that time, we make 10 billion sperm.
Are you sure about that?
He's given us a lot.
I know these things. And now the only problem we have ever had between us, ever since we crawled out of the ooze that we were created in, is that the female of the species has deluded herself into believing that all of his billions of sperm are just for her.
It's 19 after 7 o'clock in the morning at Q1043. If we can get off the topic of sex for just a moment, we'll get back to it again in a little while.
That's impossible with Gene here.
But I just have to say something, because some people asked me to, and I promised that I would, regarding his television show.
Oh, you mean Gene Simmons' Family Jewels on A&E, the third season?
Yes. I was told by a couple of people that they were not only inspired, but also moved to tears by the episode where your daughter needed some help with a school assignment, I guess it was, regarding our military people, our soldiers, and that you then took her to hospitals to meet some of these people in person. That was, I'm told, just an incredible episode.
Well, it broke me up. I'll tell you, it's one thing going to school, but it seems to me that school is a little bit limiting, because you're looking down at words on a page. And when you think of wars, you think of it as historical events far away. There's one going on right now. And there are real people dying and getting wounded, and often for the rest of their lives, that are never talked about, never given their kudos. And I'm ashamed of America and how it treats its veterans, wounded or otherwise. And so what I wanted my daughter, who at that point was 14, she's now 16, to go with me to a veterans hospital, not far, about 2 hours down the road from Beverly Hills. Now, by the way, Malibu is right there too. These other knuckleheads can just get into their Ferraris and drive right down, but nobody goes there. I don't know why that is. I'm ashamed of the way celebrities act most of the time. And I will tell you that it was a life-changing experience. We walked in, and there were veterans there from 4 wars: Vietnam, Korea, World War II. There was a gentleman very, very advanced in his years, and one was dying and had no regrets. And a woman walked in who, they were both in their 70s, and she walked in, and they had met a long time ago when he was an active soldier. And I'll get to the end of this because I get choked up every time talking about it.
And so did all the viewers who saw that episode.
Real heroes exist right here. They're at the Veterans Hospital, and you should go down, take some time, go down there, shake the hands of a hero.
It's 7:22. We're with Gene Simmons, and we'll be right back at Q1043.